Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Khayyum Sharif. In this video, we are going to implement linear search algorithm in JavaScript. Create an empty folder and open it inside VS Code and create a new file. You can name it whatever you want. I name it as linear search.js. Okay, and make sure you have Node installed in your system. You can check if it is installed by giving a command like node -v. So this command outputs Node version which is installed in your system. If you have not installed Node, make sure you install it, and then you can continue this video. Okay, alright, so here we have a numbers array. So now we are going to write a function to search the element inside array. So whenever you work with arrays, please keep in mind that array indexing starts from 0. Okay, so now let's write a function. So you can name it whatever you want. I just like to name it as linear search, and it is going to accept two parameters. One is the array and another is the number which we are going to find. So now let's write a for loop. So for loop is having three parts. First is initialization, and we have initialized a variable I at with a value of 0, and second thing is condition, and until this condition is true, for loop is going to execute whatever statements we wrote inside it, and whenever the condition is false, then the execution will stop. Okay, so now let's write an if statement, and we are going to access the array element at every index, and we are going to compare it with the number what we are getting as a second parameter to this linear search function. If the array element is equals to the number which we are going to find, then we are going to return the index I. So suppose if we don't find that number, then simply we are going to return -1. Okay, so now let's execute this function. So first parameter we are going to pass numbers, and in second parameter give it any number inside our array. For example, let's give here 56, and whatever result is this function is going to return, let's store it inside a variable. So I just name that variable as result. You can name it whatever you want. So now we will consider the -1 scenario first. So if we get a result as -1, it means that the loop executes, but the search element which we have given is not there in array. Let's give a console log statement here, and else we can write an else statement, and we can give another log saying now we use a backticks. Now let's save our file, and using Node we are going to run this file like node linear search.js. So as you can see here in the terminal, it says like element found at index 2. So we have given 56 number to find inside array. So if you see here, 3 is at index 0, and from there 14 is 1, and 56 is at 3. Let's try a negative scenario as well. So we give something which is not there inside the numbers. It's like 75. Let's save this file and try to run it again. As you can see, we are having element not found message in our terminal because the number which we have given is not there at all in this numbers array. So one thing here is the complexity of this approach is really high, and suppose if the element which we are trying to find is existing at the last, then it takes that many loops to find that number. So we can write another function to improvise the search functionality. So let's go ahead and write another function. So I'm going to name it as better linear search. You can name it whatever you want, and this function also accepts two parameters. One is array and another one is the number which we are going to find. So here we need to declare a couple of variables. So let's start with length. This is going to be its length of array, and we need another one as left. It's going to start at 0, and we need another one right. I'm going to name it as right, and its value is going to be length minus 1, and we need another element, name it as position, and give it a value of -1. Let's write a while loop, and condition is going to be left less than or equals to right. So bear with me, guys. In few minutes this whole function is going to make sense for you. As you know, left is having an initial value as 0, and right is having initial value of the array length -1. For example, if array length is 10, then take 1 from it, you get 9. So the 9 is going to be a value for a right variable. In every iteration, we are going to check first and last number if it is what we are looking for, and we are going to execute the loop second time, and in that iteration we are going to check second number from the initial point of view, and from the backwards we are going to check second last. So in every iteration we are checking from starting point and from the end point. So let's write it here. If array, let's access the left index element and check if it is equals to the number which we are going to find. If the number is what we are looking for, in that case we are going to assign the left index to the position, and let's give a console log here as well. Let's use backticks, and we can say something like let's give here position, and now we are going to mention attempts, how many attempts it took to find the number. Attempts is going to be left index plus 1. So since left has initial value as 0, we are going to add 1 every time to it. Ideally there would be no 0 attempts, right? Suppose if we found here, we are going to just break this execution, and we are going to check from last index as well. So for that we need to write another if condition. If it is exactly equals to the number which we are finding, assign the position variable once again with the value of right, and let's use the console log from there. So yeah, number is going to be same, position, yes, we got it. Since we are checking from the last of array, we'll give it as length minus right. Okay, and if we found it, let's break this statement as well. And one more thing, guys, make sure you write exit condition as well, or else this loop will be executing continuously. Okay, so to break this loop, we are going to increment left by 1, and we are going to decrement right by 1. And one more thing, since we have given position as -1 here, so suppose if we don't find the element which has been passed as a second parameter, let's consider that scenario as well. So suppose if this while loop executes and still the position is -1, it means that the number is not at all in the given array. So let's write a condition. If position is still -1, then just give a log. Alright, so now let's run this code. So before that, let's comment out this one. So I'm going to call this function and I'm going to pass numbers array, and I'm going to give a number which I like to search, for example like 14. So if I save this code and let me run it, so as you can see, the element 14 is found at index 1, and the attempts it took to find that element is only 2. Let's see what happens if we give the last element. Now let's pass 26 here, save this file and run this once again. So even if the element is at the last, then also we have found that element as well in only one attempt. So suppose if you give something which is in middle like 34, so then it's going to take maximum attempts which require to find an element using this better linear search function. Let me run it once again. So as you can see, it took 4 attempts to find this element. So now let's give something which is not there in our numbers array, like something 99, and save and try to execute. So as you can see, we are successfully printing element not found message here in terminal. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you understood linear search algorithm in JavaScript, and make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.